Okay, Rohan, so just wait, while I put the slides on the screen. Just a moment, please. Just one moment. Can you see the full screen?
GMAT verbal demo? Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so as I told you yesterday when we began, that we will be, going through three different levels of questions. We'll start with something simple, and then we will proceed to something which is of a median level of difficulty, and ending with something that is of a slightly higher order of difficulty. So, if you remember, we had begun discussing this analogy-based question. I told you that it involves, analogy means a parallelism between two different situations. So, what happens in an analogy question is you are given an alternate situation in the answer options, in one of which you will see the same pattern of reasoning playing out as you have seen in the situation given in the original question, right? And you have to tally those. You have to find an analogous situation that shows the same pattern of reasoning playing out as the one in the original statement. So I think we had already discussed the structure of the original passage. When income tax rates are reduced, there is an increase in taxable income, and an increase in taxable income results in increased total income tax revenues for the government. So we had divided these things into three registers. We had taken income tax rate as X, we had taken taxable income as Y, and we had taken income tax revenue as Z, right? And what we had, basically discerned was that a drop in X or a decrease in X leads to an increase in Y, which in turn leads to an increase in Z. Right. So we haven't till that point. You had given A as the answer, but we had also discussed why A doesn't fit the bill. So now from B, C, D, and E, choose the one which is analogous to the original argument.
Okay, so let me try.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So remember, you already have the scheme in front of you. A drop in X results in a rise in Y, which in turn results in a rise in Z.
Uh, Sir, can you help me with it? I don't know like how to solve this question with that kind of pattern.
No, read through each situation and find one in which you have first, in this case, I mean, of course, it will vary from one analogy question to another. In this case, what are the things, parameters? The statement has to have three registers, and what should the relation among the three registers be? Fall in one leads to the rise in the second one, which in turn leads to the rise in the third one. Just look for this pattern. So A did not work. We have already decided on A. Try B, C, D, and E one at a time. Take your time, there is no rush.
So maybe the right answer if we like look that there
Uh,
is a
wait. What is your chosen option?
three.
E.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
let's have a look at E. Citizens earning more than 15 lakh rupees per annum pay at an increased tax rate of 40%. Citizens earning less than 1 lakh rupee per annum can be exempted from paying tax. But again, the fall in one thing leading to the rise in another, that dynamic is not playing out here. So it's not either. So A and E are ruled out. Now look at B, C, and D.
Like they should be the dynamic. One should increase and other should decrease.
No, no, that for this particular question,
For
for
this
this,
particular question, one should increase and other should decrease.
no, no, there should be three registers X, Y, Z. X will decrease as a result of which Y will increase, as a result of which Z will increase.
So may I tell you what I'm thinking about the all three options B, C, D, B, C, and D.
Okay, I'll
That
tell you the right
is
answer is option C. Let's have a look at option C. An advertisement using more than 25 words of text will not be read. And when an advertisement is not read, the product is not sold. Therefore, the fewer words an advertisement has, the more effective it will be in promoting its product. Okay, so let's break this up. So let's say we take an advertisement using more than 25 words of text to be X. We take the number of people reading the advertisement to be Y. And we take the number of products sold to be Z. Take it? Okay.
yes,
The logic basically is that what they're trying to say is that if the text of the advertisement is very long, if it is more than 25 words, people will not have the patience to read it. Fewer people will be reading it. And the fewer the number of people who read the advertisement, the fewer the products sold, right? For me to sell the maximum number of products, my advertising has to be effective, isn't it? Right. I want the advertisement to reach out to a maximum number of people. Okay. So if the ultimate end result is null and void, I'm not being able to sell enough products. What is the correction I should do? I should then reduce the number of words in the advertisement, right?
yes.
So the number of words in the advertisement, let's take that to be X. If you reduce X, then the number of people reading that advertisement increases, that is Y increases. And if Y increases, then the number of products sold also increases, so Z increases. So X decreases, Y increases, Z increases. That is C.
So that's how we solve analogous question or this particular question.
No, I mean this XYZ is for this particular question. There can be other analogy questions based on other parameters. This is only for this particular analogy question.
Okay, so like in this in part B only first context third context is we are discussing about the third context. Only the sales of Indian manufacturing products are increasing, but not the relation.
No, wait. Which one are you talking about? Option B.
Option B, yes.
Acha. B says the leader of the opposition of the parliament argued that a restriction on the import of Chinese manufacturing goods will increase the sales of manufacturing Indian manufacturing products. You see, there are only two registers here, not three. If I take the import of Chinese manufacturing goods to be X and I take the sales of Indian manufacturing products to be Y, then basically it is X decreases and Y increases, but there is no Z.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay, all right, fine. So let's move to a second question. Hmm?
Yes,
Just a
sir.
moment. Okay, try this one.
Sir, option C.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. Either Shero will win the election or Stoning will be appointed head of the Planning Commission. Um, okay, on what basis, did you arrive at this conclusion? Can you explain it? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just want to know your, the reasoning that you undertook.
Sir, the first and the fourth thing is going parallelly. That the names are mentioned, but it is written someone less qualified, someone. They are like parallel parameters.
Acha, listen.
They're the same
Uh,
thing.
the end of the para is saying what? Unless the polls are grossly inaccurate, Shero will win, right? Unless the polls are grossly inaccurate, Shero will win. So the clear implication is that Shero is going to win. Hmm. So the
So,
point is either Shero will win the election or Stoning will be appointed head of the planning commission. So if we assume that in case if the polls are inaccurate, the alternate possibility, then in that case Shero will not win, right? And the assumption is that if Shero will not win, then McGuinness will not be appointed head of the planning commission, in which case Stoning will be appointed head of the planning commission. Let
okay.
me teach you something here. There's a particular mechanism of critical reasoning at work. And what we are referring to here are certain conditions of causality. Causality, Causality. Causality means a cause effect relationship. Hmm? So, what is a cause effect relationship? A cause leading to an effect. There can be two kinds of causal relations: necessity and sufficiency, right? Okay. What is a necessary relation? A necessary relation is one where you talk about a particular cause for an effect, but that cause is not the only cause. So let's say, Rohan, if I say that if the fan is on, the room is cool, right? Does
Yes,
it
sir.
mean that for the room to be cool, The fan being on is the only condition.
So there might be other reasons as well.
Absolutely. I can say when the AC is on, the room is cool. I can say when it is winter, the room is cool. I can say when it is raining, the room is cool. Right? There can be n number of factors, isn't it? Right. Whereas if I say only if the fan is on, the room is cool, then it is certain that that is the sole, that is the only cause for the effect. Right? Only when the fan is on, the room is cool. That is called a condition of sufficiency. Right? Okay. You look at the beginning of the para. If Shero wins the election, McGuinness will be appointed head of the Planning Commission. So we are seeing a cause effect relationship here. If Shero wins the election, let that be the cause. McGuinness will be appointed head of the Planning Commission. Let that be the effect. Okay? Okay. Now, my question to you is this a condition of necessity or sufficiency?
Self-sufficiency.
Not really. If it had been a condition of sufficiency, then we would have used the word only, isn't it? Only if Shero wins the election, McGuinness will be appointed head of the Planning Commission. Agreed or not?
So this plays with the words.
Nah, absolutely. But are you getting the logic? If I say only if Shero wins the election, McGuinness will be appointed head, then it will be a condition of sufficiency. But if the word only is not mentioned, just as I said, if the fan is on, the room is cool, it means that the room can be cool for other reasons as well,
So
right?
what can be other reason that McGuinness will be appointed the head of planning?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So here, it is not stated as a condition of sufficiency. It is mentioned as a condition of necessity. So Shero winning the election is not the only reason for McGuinness being appointed head of the Planning Commission. Okay, what
So
I'm basic, what I'm basically saying is that it is written as a condition of necessity. So the point is that McGuinness can be appointed head of the Planning Commission for other reasons as well.
okay.
Okay, so the point is, if Shero wins the election, McGuinness will be appointed head of the Planning Commission, no doubt about it. If Shero does not win the election, it does not necessarily mean that McGuinness will not be appointed head, right? If somebody else wins the election, that person may or may not favor McGuinness. But I can't say for sure that McGuinness will not be appointed if Shero loses the election. So the problem in C is if it says either Shero will win the election or as in Shero doesn't win, Stoning will be appointed head of the Planning Commission. So that will assume that if Shero does not win the election, in that case, McGuinness will not be appointed for sure, and therefore Stoning will be appointed. But we can't say that. Even if Shero doesn't win, McGuinness may still be appointed for other reasons because it is a condition of necessity and not a condition of sufficiency.
Yes, yes.
Understood? So C cannot be concluded. Then look at A, B, and D.
So but it is written at the unless the polls are grossly inaccurate, Shero will win.
Huh. So look at A, B, and D. C is ruled out. Okay, Rohan, what do you think?
So give me a second. Give me
Ha,
a
sure.
Sir, B.
You said B or D?
B for ball.
Acha, McGuinness will be appointed head of the Planning Commission only
Yeah,
if the polls are a good indication of how the
yes,
election will turn out.
sure.
This again falls into the condition of sufficiency. See,
Yes,
only if the polls are a good indication will which it will mean that only if Shero wins.
sir.
So
That
B,
sir, uh,
sorry.
sir, I was saying that what you told and what basically you can we cannot select the only part because it is telling the sufficiency scene. What
Yeah,
is
so that's the same reason that we did not choose C. The same problem persists in B. If B says McGuinness will be appointed head of the Planning Commission, only if the polls are a good indication of how the election will turn out, only if the polls are a good indication of how the election will turn out, translates into saying only if Shero wins. Same problem as C.
so then D?
Yeah, absolutely. If the polls are a good indication of how the election will turn out, mind you, it says if, not only if. If the polls are a good indication, it means Shero will win. Someone less qualified than Stoning will be appointed head of the Planning Commission. The hint is at McGuinness because we are told that Stoning is more qualified than McGuinness. So someone less qualified than Stoning can only mean McGuinness.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. We will do one more question and then we'll wrap up for today. So the last question which we will do is again an important topic from critical reasoning in GMAT. It's called strengthening weakening. So a situation is given, and either the question is, if um, eh, which of the following options, if true, can strengthen the argument above, or which of the following options, if true, can weaken the argument above. So you have to take every answer option to be true and see how it impacts the given argument. The strengthening answer will be one which will give some extra information, right? Extra information which is not there in the passage, but which will add on to what is written in the passage. That is strengthening. And the weakening option will be one which again will give you some extra information which will contradict, subtract from something that is written in the passage. That's the way it goes. So we have a question in which, where there are five options. And here you'll have to find out both strengthening and weakening. So to find out one option that strengthens and another option that weakens from the same set of options. Okay. So let me take you to that question. Just a moment. So you have the passage above, very short passage, and the question asks which of the following, if true, would one strengthen and two weaken the argument presented above. So there are five options A, B, C, D, and E. One of these will strengthen, another one will weaken, and the remaining three will be eliminated. Try this.
Okay, sir. Sir, E is weakening, D is strengthening.
Sorry, which is weakening?
E.
E. Okay, E, the last one, right?
Give me a second. Yes, sir. E.
E is weakening and which is strengthening?
D.
A.
D. D. D.
D. Okay. All right. Your weakening answer is absolutely correct. Right? Absolutely 100%. Because E contradicts the last point raised in the para. What the internet seems to be doing is chipping away our capacity for concentration, gradually destroying our capacity for concentration, right? And E gives some extra information that contradicts it, right? The ability of the younger judges who have grown up with ready access to internet to judge complex and intricate cases has on an average become better as compared to what it was for judges of comparable age profile during the 1920s. So, on the contrary, it is giving us one very good example where people with internet access have greater powers of concentration and analysis than people without, right? So, this is excellent. But D is not the strengthening one. A is the strengthening one. Okay, let me explain.
A.
So, I'll explain. Nietzsche was a German philosopher. So, Nietzsche was forced to use a typewriter when he started losing his vision. After he mastered the machine, he could type with his eyes closed. It was later found that under the effect of the machine, his prose changed from arguments to aphorisms, from thoughts to puns, from rhetoric to telegram style. So, what is happening here is basically, if you look at the first two sentences of the passage, they're saying that media of communication basically they don't just passively convey information, they also influence the process of thought, centering around that information, right? So depending on which medium of communication I choose, like if I'm sending you a WhatsApp text, or let's say I'm emailing you, or let's say I'm calling you, depending on the choice of the medium of communication, one's process of thought is also modified. So what we find in this option, which is very long, but the basic gist of it is that when this man he started going blind, he stopped writing with his hand, he started using a typewriter. He started typing instead of writing, right?
Yes.
Major changes came about in his prose once he switched to the typewriter. His prose changed from arguments to aphorisms. Arguments are elaborate things, aphorisms are short, witty one liners. From thoughts to puns. Thoughts, you know what a thought is. Pun is playing on the double meaning of words. From rhetoric to telegram style. Rhetoric is, persuasive style of writing. Telegrammatic language is, broken fragmentary sentences. So instead of writing heavy, serious language, he started writing in, playful, fragmentary words and sentences. So the change in the medium of communication also influenced his process of thinking. So this adds on to what is written in the first two sentences of the passage, right? So therefore, A strengthens, and you're absolutely right, E weakens.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
So basically, like what we did with all these questions, like we're doing this in the same pattern.
as in, I didn't get you. Doing it in the same pattern as in?
So like whenever we attempt, for example, whenever we'll attempt a strength and weaken question, like
Ha,
you told me that take some outside information
ha,
and
ha.
it must be in relevance with the passage.
Add on, if it adds on, it strengthens. If it contradicts, it weakens.
Yes, if it adds on and strengthens, if it's contradicts, it weakens.
Yes.
Uh, on that basis only we'll attempting all the strength and weakening.
Yeah, absolutely. See, I mean, there are the different techniques and molds for every question pattern. right? So there are many different kinds of critical reasoning questions. There are also different patterns of questions in reading comprehension, right? So once you master the pattern, you will be able to solve any of these questions.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Rohan, thank you very much. So we will conclude here today. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I'll let Shujoy know that the class is done.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, bye. Bye, Rohan.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Take
you. Bye bye. Take
take
care.
take care. Bye. Bye.